volunteer community work gone. We'd given a lot to Holland Street, but by God, we got it back in the days and the weeks following that burglary. Life's disappointments are harder to bear when you don't know any spare words. That was given to me by a little boy, along with the first stamper he'd ever made, and his entire shell collection. People brought afternoon tea, but they also brought meals. They brought rescue remedy. They brought food vouchers. Kate started a Dropbox to try and replace my files. Kathy brought $500 with a note. I'm doing this because I can. Please don't give it back. About the fourth visit from the police.
All right, well, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's just 10 after, and good morning. So I want to, that's a video of a community that, it's really a street that out of that community, off that street came a bigger, broader community. And so just a bit of a primer this morning for you. I'll share that video with you, that link. And they just did some amazing things on their street. And it all came out of one kind of incident, and it grew into something bigger. And it grew into the way they go about their life. Everyone on that street goes about their life. And thus the impact became the way that people who live nearby that street, within that community, see their area and live their own life. And it's one of my favorite examples of just sprouting from where you are, growing from where you are, standing up, looking at where your feet are planted, and getting started. So good morning. We love you. I like to share with all the love to everyone. We're going to do we're going to go over our MOVE Community Academy Youth Growth Program. We're going to talk through some action items. We're going to talk through what to expect over the 6 weeks. And if some of you join in, we can have some fun activity at the end with a pitch popcorn. So the MOVE Community Academy Youth Growth Program, we'll break it down and build it back up as part of the bigger whole. And the point here is the Community Academy portion. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So hello, my name's Grant. I'm the Executive Director at the NRC, bringing you this awesome program. And I am a designer by nature, and what I design are projects, help get those to the next step or finished up, really just define the constraints of the project itself, the goals, and then get to work, and events. And so those are the two big buckets for me. I was born and raised here in South Bend, and South Bend is my home. In 2008, I ran 3 marathons in 3 states in 3 consecutive weeks. Just a fun tidbit. So if you want to get me off track at any point, ask me about running. I'm happy to chat there. And in 2011, I visited Michael Higgins, who is the president of Ireland. He just so happened to have done his master's at IU, as did I. And I wrote him a handwritten note asking if while I'm visiting Ireland, I can come visit you. And he agreed. Some cohort mates and we all got to visit him at his estate home, which was amazing. So there's a whole story there too. So fun tidbits, why I was there and those sorts of things. More situated this morning is for the past 18 years I've been in the classroom teaching K through 12 students, working with mentors throughout the community, throughout many communities, and working with sponsors supporting those initiatives in the classroom. I was in a high school classroom for 3 years, and the education portion of my life is very important to me, and that's what we're talking about here at the Community Academy. So the NRC is bringing you the Community Academy, and our mission is to build community together. And part of that mission then begets this training portion. So over here on the left, you see our Community Academy. On the right, we have our community organizing. So if there's an ongoing project that needs to be done on a street, on a block, in a house, wherever it may be, we might have to instantiate a program, we might have to start an initiative, whatever that might be, we have to go about doing the work. And in addition to that work, that community organizing, we also have our Community Academy that we run. And the point there is the Community Academy helps train people to go do that work. All right, so just like you have to practice for soccer and golf and spell bowl and robotics, you might know all the pieces and parts of your community. You might know all of the things that are involved. That doesn't mean you've perfected it. I know the rules to golf. I know the rules and how golf works, and I know to let other people play when I'm out, right? Nevertheless, I have to practice golf. I have to get good at it. So this community building thing we're talking about in the Community Academy, we're not only identifying the parts, we're going about practicing that community building. And so that's what the Community Academy is all about. The Youth Growth Program is a 6-week program for South Bend youth. It's for ages 13 to 16 or grades 7 through 10. If you have a question on going into, it should be current. So we're in December. So whatever the current grade is, that should be where your student is at, or that should be you if you're watching this. So if you have a question about that, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate to ask nrc.org, or my email is grant@nrc.org. The groups are usually 12 to 25. We've had some bigger groups with some larger engagements, and we've had some groups of 12, which is a nice sweet spot, 12 to 15. The point of the program, the Youth Growth Program specifically, is individual voice and community building. And so those two things will go hand in hand. And what participants are going to leave with are our skills from doing those things. So we'll be skill building through every evolution. And once you're done with that evolution, you'll have built a new skill. And then each week, those skills are going to build to the final week's mood board, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. So the point here is to do the work while building the skill in a safe space where you're learning how to go about and doing it while actually producing something, while actually getting some real tangible benefit out of it to your community, bringing that to your area. And this is part of a larger whole. So the great part about over here on the left, our program, is we start out with the program we're talking about, and then we start to ante you up into the successive programs. So we'd like everyone to apply to the Youth Advisory Council, and that preference then will come from having been in this program, and thus then the succession into the Mayor's Youth Task Force. And so that sort of thing is what we're trying to continue to build and move forward with. We want to see who has a community building aura to them. Right now, so if you're a student listening, you're talking about social good. You're talking about social benefit, a double bottom line, not just profit. What's the social good? What's the community have to do with it? That's what we're talking about. So you don't have to, just because you're in the Youth Growth Program doesn't mean you have to have goals to be the mayor or be the president. You don't have to want to work at this city. You have to care about the community around you. And those are the activities we're doing, understanding where you're at and then helping make that place better based on your priorities or the priorities of the people around you, trying to understand those things. So that's that succession. And then a couple other things that we're looking to add into that I'd love if some of you are involved in. The Scholastic Arts program. We'd like to start submitting these projects to the Scholastic Arts program so that some students could get a scholarship or get money for the work that they've done. And then also the 21st Century Scholars Program. We'd like our students to be engaged in both of those so that we can go deeper with what we're already doing. So if there's something that's already happening and it meets multiple criteria, well, all the better. Okay, so the Community Academy, I want to introduce you more to the Move South Bend side of things. This circle down here is us, our community, or what you define as the community you're working within. And that's going to be part of the program, is making that definition clear. And then the movement, the line, is important distinction that it's an open circle for all of us. That's where we're at. And we're going to definitely include everything before us, and we're going to move all that stuff forward. So we're going to leverage and understand what's come before us, and we're going to take that and apply it to where we're going, to what's ahead of us. And so that's what we're seeing here with the Youth Growth Program. And so what I mean is there's this whole program that you continue and you would do at any stage in life. So like my golf analogy, you don't just stop practicing or stop playing. This is something you continually engage in. And so it's not that the rules change, it's that you're in a different place. Another thing, if you're a book reader, I know we have a lot of book readers. Book readers will go back and read the same book, not because the book's changed, but because they've changed. And they're going to see different things in that book. And so that's why the Community Academy, you see over here, we have a youth program, adult program, retirees, and a corporate program for companies wanting to engage their community. And so these are the people coming through the academy. And then we have two flavors, I'll call them over here. So the growth and the operations. And we're talking about the growth today. So growth is more about expanding what it is you're doing, adding more. So for instance, if you're a retiree and you've worked 45 years and you've now retired, you would like to start mentoring. You'd like to start advising and getting involved. That's a growth opportunity. So it doesn't matter that you've worked for 45 years. It matters that what you're doing right now with your community engagement is growing your involvement. And so you'd be in the Retiree Community Academy Growth Program so that you could grow your involvement. And so the growth at any stage, right? At any stage of your life, wherever you're at here, you can get involved. And so then the operations side means on the Youth Community Academy, let's say, maybe you've been in Scouts for 5 years. Maybe you've been in First Robotics for 3 years. Maybe you have volunteered at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Maybe you volunteered at the Restore, the Habitat for Humanity Restore. You have a project you've done. You have involvement and you want to run that better. You want to go deeper with that thing. You want to operate that community involvement at a higher level or more. That's what the operations program is all about. All right, so growth is growing the things that you're doing wherever that starts from, and operations is operating the thing you're already involved in. And so here's what our 6 weeks look like. So we're moving forward, we're always moving. All right, and the goal here is for over the 6 weeks, on the left-hand side, we have the goal of the week, the overall plan for the week. On the right-hand side, we have the skill set and the vehicle through which we're going to do it. All right, so on the left, we have the goal and the overall idea. On the right, we have the vehicle through which we're doing it. So week 1, we're focusing all on mindset. So the mindset, we're going to be creating plans. We're going to be doing planning. So youth growth, mindset planning is all week 1. Week 2, we're going to focus on places in the community. That's going to be the focus all of week 2. And we're going to do that through pictures, picture taking and picture sharing, identification and synthesis. The synthesis is the fun one. All right. Week 3, we're going to be listening. We're going to be hearing stories. And we're going to be doing that through audio recordings. All right. You're going to be recording. You're going to be listening to recordings. And then again, we're going to be digesting them and working to understand what we're hearing, what it is we're hearing. Week 4, then, we're going to be talking about pathways. And pathways gets interesting now that you've had 3 weeks, because pathways starts to link things together. So not only physical pathways you might walk down, psychological pathways or opportunity pathways or ways we might go. And we're going to do that through video. This might be a video you find, and you might put multiple videos together. It might be a video you make of yourself or your family, your neighbors, or the community around you. And it might actually be a hybrid of the two. You might chop together some video you found and some video you made. All right, so that's week 4. And then here's where it gets interesting. We're gonna go sideways. Instead of continuing on that line, we're gonna go sideways, and we're gonna write a story. We're gonna do that through poetry. So we're not gonna be, the goal isn't to be Shakespeare here. The goal is to engage in poetry, which actually is a lot of fun when you have an open mind about it, which we hopefully set you up for success week 1. Poetry has a lot of different ways we're going to go about it. Iambic pentameter, right? Or haiku, you've probably heard of. Music is often referred to as poetry. So there's some fun things that happen week 5. When we say poetry, it seems like, poetry, but it's really not. And keeping the open mind to being able to write a story is the focus. Week 5 is the test. Can you keep an open mind to start writing a story, to start getting to the point where there's some communication back? And then we culminate with our mood boards on week 6. So this is about telling the story then. And there's a subtle distinction between week 5 and week 6, and that's the point. Writing a story versus telling a story are quite different things. The difference between showing me and telling me. And we leverage mood boards in order to facilitate telling a story. And so that'll be our final week 6. We'll have a presentation where students will tell their stories. And that's how the 6 weeks unfold. I'd love to answer any questions. I know it's Barbara on the line. Brianna, excuse me. Were you able to listen in?
I do not have any questions at this time.
Gotcha. Let's see. All right, so over the course of the 6 weeks, it's important for us to make sure that students understand and families understand that each day will operate the same, and so that you're not taken back or confused about what to expect when coming into the classroom, when coming into the studio. We have an atmosphere of building and creating this creativity. So our community studio is focused on that atmosphere. And so that hopefully shows itself in the way we conduct ourselves. And so making sure that you understand that every week, this is how we should be operating the classroom and the things that we're doing every week. So we'll open with our intro activity. We'll outline the day together, those two things. We'll do an activity for 30 minutes, and we'll have a bit of a break in the middle. We'll come back to that activity for another 20 minutes, and we'll discuss for 10. As students, you can't wait to get to the 30-minute activity and spend nearly an hour working, and everyone's asking for more time. They want to engage and do the fun stuff. For the parents, the 10-minute discussion at the end, there's some interesting things that happen there. The reflection that happens in that 10-minute discussion is quite telling. So that's one of my favorite parts. The activities and then the discussion at the end, those are fun times. So that'll be the day. When we jump into the studio sessions, we will outline and use that outline for the day. And if there's questions on that, again, happy to answer them. We just like everyone to be on the same page of what's expected when they enter the studio. So this is our tech stack. So these are the technologies we'll be using. Some of them are familiar, some of them are new. And I like to put this in front of parents so that they're aware that accounts are going to be a thing. For the parents listening, accounts are definitely going to be a thing. So not only managing the accounts that students have, the emails they're using, and then the passwords they have, that's going to be something we can cover week 1 with you if you'd like, or separate if you'd like. But at home, since you're on the other side of the machine, we want to get this in front of you that it will be something that needs to be managed, and students are expected to be able to log in. And so if there's anything we can do ahead of time to set you up for success, to get accounts and whatsoever, we'd like to do that. So Google Slides is what actually we're watching now. And all of the icons down at the bottom, those are the Google Suite. And so South Bend Community School Corporation is run on Google for Education. Though some of the accounts, especially when I've been doing junior achievement via Google Meets, sometimes it gets hung up. So we'll just have to work through emails and the email that students are using, if it's the school email or if it's a personal email. I will send out emails. I will send out calendar invites. We will use Google Drive, which houses your docs, sheets, and slides, and your forms and your drawings. So we'll leverage those things. So again, want to make sure we're familiar and up to date, right, on how those are going to operate and work together. Anchor is a podcasting platform. It's a podcasting app. Pinterest will help us create our boards and help us share and document our work throughout the program. And then Discord, some students might know Discord. I'm guessing most know Discord. Discord is a platform for talking to each other. And it started out in the gaming, and it's still heavily gaming. What Discord allows us to do is to create rooms where people can exist and be constantly, and up to 25 people per room with text, voice, and chat, text, voice, and video. So this is our tech stack. If there are updates, you'll of course hear about it. These are definitely the basics and definitely things we'll be using. And so this is our, this would be our game. Having more people in a info session allows us to play pitch popcorn, where on the left we have nouns and on the right we have adjectives, and we choose one of both, and then we pitch an idea of something we would do in our area or a business we would start. And it's a fun get to know you game because it gets goofy. It gets pretty goofy. So pending more people next time, we will do that activity. Other than that, we want to share the love for our community and for all the folks who are watching. We thank you for taking the time. Just want to say that we're looking forward to the next cohort. And if you have any questions, again, go to nrcsb.org or email me grant@nrcsb.org. And there should be some information in the notes below this video.